What's going on today, guys? Today we're going to look at the lights on my freewheeler here. I came out here the other day to get a picture of the LED lights on here. That way I could post it to a Facebook group that I'm with for freewheelers and tri-glides. And I noticed that I have several lights in the rear underneath the trunk that did not come on. I've got about 6 lights. As a matter of fact, it looks like there's a light on this side now that's working, yeah. But the 4 other lights that I have underneath there are not. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to jack up the rear of the freewheeler and I'm going to look underneath there. And I'll take you with me. That way we can see what's going on. You can see what I'm doing with it. I'll post a picture on here what actual LED set that I'm using is off of Amazon. $40. It's very, very cheap and they work excellent. I've had them for 3 years and this is the second issue I've had. The first issue I had, the little box right here, this little box right here went bad after about 2.5 years. And I just bought a new set. It was cheap enough. I just bought a new set and works perfect. I added more lights to it. The set comes with 8 pieces, 8 LEDs. We'll see if we can get a look up here at some of them. All right, there's one. Let me cycle through some colors here real quick. Maybe it's a little easier to see. There we go. A little easier to see them that way. But this is not a promotion for these LED lights, but I do like them. It does come with 16 different colors. Cycle through them. I usually keep it on green. That way I'm not getting in trouble with the cops for doing blue or red, even though I'd like the blue and the red a lot better. And here in a second, you'll see it strobing. Now in the camera, that's flickering a little bit, but here in real life with my eyes, it's not. And then we should go to strobe here in a second. Or I was just kind of cycling through and then you can, there we go. Yeah, I kind of think the cops would have an issue with that. All right, let's put it back on. It looked like blue was the easiest one to see, the actual LEDs on camera. I'm going to turn it off for now. I want to get this thing up on jack stands real quick, and then we'll get underneath there and we can see if we can find what's going on with it. Safety first. Always use jack stands. All right, this is going to be a little bit hard to do with one hand. Let me see if I can get this phone down close enough. Okay. Now I'm just going right underneath the housing here. I don't have my glasses on. Let me check, make sure I'm centered good enough underneath this. There we go. Now I am. Now I do have chalks here on the front, that way it don't go anywhere. And another precaution that you can do, you can actually take zip ties and put around your front brake. I believe I'm actually going to go ahead and do that, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, while I was getting my zip ties out, I actually come across an extra LED module that I had. This is the one that actually goes at the very end when you're done running your lights. You can see it's just a connector here. They connect up. They're waterproof. Like I said, I've had these on here for 3 years. And right now, the only issue I've ever had with the lights themselves not working. The only other issue was the little control module itself on the inside went bad. But it's got the 3M adhesive here on the back. Just clean off the spot where you want to put it. But you can see the size of it here. They're not real big. Love them. Okay, so I've got my zip strip on here. I'm hoping that this little skinny zip strip's going to be strong enough. Looks like it's going to be. It's not going to be up here very long. I don't have a whole lot of pressure on it, so you can see I can still squeeze it in real easy. Now, I do recommend if you're going to do it this way, put you a piece of plastic or cardboard or something right here. That way this little zip strip does not dig into your hand grip here. I'm not too worried about these. They're not real rough. But if it's going to be on here a long period of time, it could leave an indentation. So that'd be one thing I'd recommend doing there. Okay, now I've got my floor jack underneath here. Now what I do have to do is I do have to raise it up pretty high to get my actual jack stands underneath it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the phone over here. And once I get them in place, I'll show you where I'm placing them. And then that way you'll know on yours where you can put them. Now what I do like to do is I like to put them in here one at a time, because with where I've got this thing jacked up at, it's kind of off center a little bit. So your driver's side here will raise up higher than your passenger side. So I'm telling you to raise it a little bit higher. Now you did see the lights flash on here. It means I do not have my key fob close enough. It thinks it's going to be towed away. So I'm putting my key fob up here closer. And now what I'm going to do, that way I don't have any issues, is I'm going to lower this back down, get it flat, and then I'm going to raise it again. That way if it's done anything to the computer, if it's flagged any kind of code or anything like that, maybe this will reset it. I have no idea. If anybody's had experience with that, let me know in the comments below. Now as you can see now, we'll give it a second. I've got the key fob there where it needs to be, and it's not flashing. I did see the little red light on my speedometer up there flash a couple times. All right, back I've got the freewheeler up in the air where I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and double check my front chocks. It is good. I'll go ahead and push that one up against it. Now I went ahead and turned my LED lights on. So now we're gonna look, see if those ones on this one side, yep, they still appear to be on. Now I'll show you where I've got this. I got my towel out here too, that way I don't have to get completely on the concrete. And I'll show you here. That's where I have this one, is right underneath the axle here. And then on this side right here, I've got it here underneath the axle. Now I was going to put it on the outside just like that one over there. It may work better for you to do it that way if you're needing to get underneath here to do anything. You can see I've got a bunch of wires underneath here, zip stripped up. I'm not a professional. But we're going to look and see if maybe I just had a wire come undone, a connector come undone, or if I had one burn or what. So bear with me on the camera here. I'm going to try to get this situated where we can get some video underneath there. Okay, I'm under here. Those are working. This is hard to do underneath here, so I do apologize. These two on this side are working, so I know the power coming up from the front of the bike running back this way is good. So it's going to be right after this one. And I never did like how it laid on top of the exhaust here. You can see there's the one LED. You can see the wire comes out and goes up into this jumbled mess and across. And then here's a couple LEDs right here. And so I think the first place we're going to look at is right here. These wires feel to be intact. There's a short in that wire. Let me check this one over here. There's not one in this one, so I bet that's going to be right here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a little bit of a short right there. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to disconnect this connector right here. And since I know this one comes across from the other side, I'm going to connect it up here to the end. Now I can't see exactly where the camera is facing, so I'm hoping you guys can see good enough. And there it is. Okay, those lights are working now. Those lights are working, so I know that that connector right there, let me put my phone down here, that connector right there, yeah, you can see it on the camera now, because I can see it on the camera. Right there is the short. All right, so that just means I'm going to have to bypass that one and connect it to the other one over here. All right, there's the LED. What I'm trying to do now, I need to clean them off while I'm underneath here too. And the problem, what I ran into, why this happened, is that actual wire, it come undone from that. Because I had that held up. It come undone and fell down on the exhaust. Yeah, I can feel the short there too. Okay, that one's the one that goes back. That one goes to that one. I didn't think I could get that pulled off there, but I did. Okay, I'm trying to see around here on the viewfinder. You can see right here is a little bit of a short here on it. And then, looks like it did a little bit right there. Well, it looks like the, it looks like the 3M is still stuck to the, yep, 3M still stuck to the frame over there. That'd be all right. All right, there is the wire that I'm wanting. Let me feel this one to make sure it is not, no, it is not shorted anywhere. So what I'm needing to do now is get more of that wire over to it. More of this wire over to the wire over here. Yeah, it's a little easier said than done. I need about 4 inches of wire here. Okay, so bear with me here just a moment. I gotta get me some tools so I can cut my zip strips, extend that wire over, and I need to get my other zip strips. Okay, I think I've got it here in a spot where you guys can see pretty good. I apologize if I don't, because I can't see the viewfinder, so I don't know if exactly if it's shining in the spot that it needs to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect up these wires back. Okay, now that big old jumble mess can fall here. I'm going to go ahead and take that piece out too while I'm there. Okay, now that I've got this, I'm going to go ahead and try to connect the 2 wires that I'm wanting to connect up. All right, there we go. I've got it hooked up. The LED light on that side is working. I can see it over the top of the exhaust here. Now what I need to do is I need to get these wires back up out of the way. And I need to put them in a way that they will not hit that exhaust again. And that's what's going to be hard to do. And that is not touching the exhaust. All right. All right, guys, I got the LEDs back on there. the way I wanted them. It does not seem that bright in the rear, but that may be because I have it jacked up. I'm gonna get underneath it one more time and double check them to make sure they're all on. I'll put them on different colors so it's brighter. And we'll do a kind of a pinkish white. Now I'm gonna get my tools cleaned up here a little bit, and I'm gonna get it off the jacks, and then we'll look at it again once it's on the ground. All right, so I'll be right back. And you want to make sure too that when you're doing this, and you go to lower this down, make sure you don't have your floor jack underneath that tire when it's going to come down. All right guys, I've got it off the jack stands. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. And we can see a little bit underneath the rear end now, which is good. Let me go ahead and take my front brake off here. All right, as you can see here, I left a little bit of a mark there, but you really can't even feel it. All right, so I'm not cycling through these colors. I'm gonna leave it on green. That's where I keep it anyway. But I'm glad that I do have the lights underneath the rear again. And removing one, you really can't tell much of a difference on this side. Yeah, you can a little bit, but nobody knows, so they're not gonna be able to see it. All right, that's all I've got for you today. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe, like the video, and hit that bell icon. That way you can be notified when I do future uploads. Now that the weather's getting nice, I do plan on having more content coming out. So look forward to that. And I do plan on going to the range this year. So I do get some range time in, and I'll put them videos up here as well. I don't have a whole lot of plans to do anything different on the bike, so there's probably not going to be a whole lot of how-to videos as far as remove and replace things. I am going to get a different battery because the one I have in here is 3 years old, and it is starting to lag. It can be on the tender for about a week, and then I can start it up, and then a few hours later, I go to start it again. It drags. It really drags. So this spring, I will have to get a new battery for it. I'll do a remove and replace video on that for you guys. Well, until next time, you guys be safe.